Hello everyone, and welcome to the webinar today. We are excited to hear about digital transformation in B2B. Presenting to us today is Dynamicweb. We have Richard Lee, who's going to be taking over the presentation in just a moment. But before we get started, there are just a couple of quick pieces of housekeeping. First, please silence any devices, especially those who have dialed in. We don't want any background distractions. Secondly, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the question box, and we will get them called out at the end of the webinar. And third, we do record all of our webinars, so if you want to view the recording or have someone else in your organization see it at a later time, it will be available this afternoon on our website, www.innovia.com. So now, without further ado, I will turn it over to Richard, and he will begin our presentation.
Thank you so much, Angie. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our webinar today. My name is Richard Lee. I'm the sales engineer and product evangelist for Dynamicweb, and I'm really excited to present today's topic, which is digital transformation in B2B, preparing your eStore for future success. So briefly, I'd like to just introduce you to Dynamicweb. You know, we provide an all-in-one platform that integrates with Dynamics Nav as far back as 2009 R2 and to present day 2018 and all versions in between. Okay, brief slides here about us. Started in 1999, 5,000 customers with over 12,000 websites worldwide. Gartner recognized us as an all-in-one business platform. And I'll leave it at this slide here to talk about what digital transformation is. So, you know, it's a really big buzzword today. It means different things for different situations. For some, it's the big leap from phoning and faxing orders to taking them online. And for those who've done that work already, it's about improving the user experience online to earn trust while delivering an easy-to-use ordering system. So let's identify some components of the environment. So we're talking about data sources. So let's say Dynamics Nav, as well as Dynamics CRM. So systems of record for customer information, order information, product information. Without re-entering that information, you want to be able to leverage that knowledge and information going out to a channel or a group of channels. So specifically, one of those channels is the website. Collectively, that encompasses the mobile experience, the online store, the self-service portal, email marketing, social media, third-party marketplace, document generation. So lots of different places that you may find yourself pushing your product information to, ultimately kept and stored inside of your nav or CRM servers. And then in the middle of that is where platforms like ourselves situate ourselves, whereby there's content, e-commerce, marketing, which we generally understand is part and parcel to the e-commerce experience. PIM is a product information management tool, now something that we happen to include inside of our product. And that PIM, for those who are unfamiliar with it or unfamiliar with the term, you're probably very familiar with the process. And what it is that it's typically, without a PIM system, a lot of Excel files, a database of managing visual assets for a product catalog. So your ERP contains product information at a very limited perspective. You have a title or product description, product name, SKU, price, and it might be limited to that. But then some wholesalers, distributors, manufacturers, retailers may need lots more information to capture around a specific product. That's where PIM comes in. Okay, so some of those components that we feel are critical to true transformed websites are integrated. Obviously, that's what we're talking about here. Self-service or self-service portal, that's what we are speaking about with this icon over here. And that's the Amazon way of doing things, whereby because of leveraging the ERP, we have information about a customer, information about a customer's historical orders. When a customer logs in, and I'm going to give you a presentation of, or a demonstration of this rather, they'll be able to help themselves to where their order is in transit. What have they done year to date? What are the various address books that they can ship to? Things like that. They don't need to count on somebody at the website or the place that they're buying from anymore. They can help themselves with that information. And therefore, the website's not only selling 24/7, it's also providing customer service 24/7. So if customer service, obviously we know what customer service is, but online, really great customer service happens and it manifests through the self-service portal. More on that to come. Another thing too is within here at the top, we is something called website content personalization. And that's where, based on, let's say, incoming behavior or characteristics of someone coming in, saying, let's say they're coming in on a mobile device, they're coming in on a default browser language that's not English, they're coming in from a YouTube channel. That's an example of an incoming characteristic of a customer that a site that has website content personalization can dynamically and automatically change the content to support that user coming in. It's a Japanese customer or a Japanese speaking person coming from a YouTube channel. Their specific message based on those two pieces of criteria coming in, we can deliver something different than what their experience would be had they just shown up from the US English speaking right on the homepage. And then that system can also modify the experience online based on their shopping behavior, which I'll show you too. Let's say we're looking at a series of products in the same family of category, and there's a pattern there. If this were a physical store, you might identify a customer hanging out in a certain aisle that has a certain type of product. You can walk over there and talk to them and engage them. Now, with your website, how do you do that? That's where website content personalization will do that for you based on some criteria that you establish ahead of time with a message that you establish ahead of time, but they'll do the work for you even in the middle of the night. Okay, and let's see, custom pricing. So that goes without saying almost. That's probably the main goal with integrating with the website, is to offer specific pricing while also leveraging historical information or previous orders from that specific customer. And last but not least, this for sure goes without saying, is easy ordering. You know, if customers who are last to migrate to your online system, their angle is like, you know, for years I've been placing an order by email. I just write it to you, and I know exactly what I need to get, and I send it to you, and you take care of it. Now, to leverage that online experience so that those people who are accustomed to ordering by email, those people just want to be able to go in, go out super easily. And that's where things like within self-service or in other sections, to improve the ease of ordering, things like wish lists or favorites lists, whereby they can just see what they commonly buy, and with one button they can add it to the cart. So lots of features like that I think are important for just the overall experience. If you're going from a phase one implementation where you're currently phasing out phoning or faxing or emailing orders, then there are the basics, and the basics would be just make it super easy for people to buy, and then grow from there into these other features that I've painted for you. So let me go here to my live demonstration. And so just to show you some customers that we've worked with, this is Twinings Tea. What's unique about their system, they're hooked up to Microsoft Dynamics Nav. They have a nice little feature called auto delivery, which means that, and you see this this on Amazon, for example, I order a box of Earl Grey tea, I can choose to automatically send me a box or more of that same tea or different tea every month. So it will automatically run my card, it'll process the order and send it out to me automatically. So I don't have to actively buy things anymore, and that's a product of our platform. And then another customer here, Magpul, largest firearms accessories manufacturer in the U.S. They not only sell firearms accessories, but they also sell apparel, and heavily trafficked site. So let's close these guys out for now. So here I'm on my fictitious B2B site, and I'll notice some things here I'll point out for us. So I'm logged in at as my favorite B2B customer here, and I'm logged in. I see that I've left some items in the cart, and this is, a common problem that people who have websites or e-commerce sites have, are the abandoned carts. The beauty with a B2B scenario is that in order for customers to use the site fully, they need to be logged in. When you're logged in and you leave an abandoned cart, especially with Dynamic Web, we know what you left in the cart and we know who left it in the cart. So therefore, it's not an anonymous abandoned cart, which is impossible to market to. You don't know who left that content in there. So that's the beauty. We see here that someone has left items in the cart, but on the back end of the system, it will automatically email those people who've left items in the cart after a certain period of time. Maybe it's 4 hours or it's 4 days. It's all possible with Dynamic Web. All right, so here I'm looking under a category called hard drives. This is a fictitious site again. It's selling computer parts. Inside your computer is a hard drive. So notice here a couple of other important features, some of which I talked about. Remember custom pricing I talked about? Here we're seeing specific pricing because I'm logged in. I'm seeing it as a cross out. It's not necessary to show it as a cross out. We see a smiley face to indicate that everything's in stock. But if we needed to see exact amounts and at specific locations, that's also possible. With the integration into Nav, we pull that information across and we're showing it all here. So imagine for this particular customer inside of Nav, I put a credit hold on that customer. When they go to the website, they can see a little discrete message at the top that says, please contact customer service. And it would prohibit them from placing any orders. Maybe it would allow them to browse a little bit, but then more and more they'd see that they can't because they have to activate or act on this message that's appeared at the top. So it's a great way of, Dynamic Web offers the pretty interface to the web that Nav can't necessarily offer, but leveraging all that Nav has inside of it to showcase to the customers. Okay, so I'm looking at the product details page over here to showcase a couple of items. Again, these are all the details that would come in from the Nav side of things here. I can also see what other customers bought, viewed as well, and suggesting other products here. Now I'm going to give you an example of personalization or personalized web content. So imagine it's the middle of the night. I am looking at a series of hard drives, and now I'm looking at this hard drive over here. And here a pop-up appears. It's what we call a tailored reward. And this is an example of personalized web content based on on-site behavior. So the behavior was I was looking at a series of hard drives, and likely I'm trending myself around looking at hard drives. I'm showing an interest in this type of product. So the pop-up is triggered by looking at a series of different products, and of which you can identify and say, okay, if they look at any of these four out of these 12 category of products, then show this pop-up. And the pop-up can be any message. In my example here, it actually has a few messages in it. But let's say it offers a juicy coupon in exchange for your email. Now, you've seen those pop-ups, of course, but you often see it for showing up on the homepage of a website. You don't see it as a result of specific behavior. And seeing it as a result of specific behavior, may be more making the user more inclined to fill it out because it's around a specific type of behavior, not just for showing up on the homepage, but it also, for the admins of the website, it allows them to better target people who've given their email, no longer to receive a general newsletter on every product that you sell, but now they're specifically interested in a specific category of products because they gave their email for that, in exchange for um, coupon. A coupon that could be used for that product line or something else. So that's an example of personalized web content. It happens automatically, it happens dynamically, and it happens as a result of triggers that are activated. You can have more than one type of and it doesn't need to be a pop-up. It could be other behaviors, color changes, new pages that appear in the menu, you name it. Whatever you could have designed for your website could be designed as a triggered action as a result of behavior on the website. All right, so let's now jump into the self-service portal. So that's what we call in my demo here, customer center. Self-service is typically not a name given to the body of a portal that you can have, but let's say you call it customer center, or customer account is another common name for it. So here we can see historical orders that have been placed. Again, this is information based on my login that it's retrieving and exposing to me from Nav. I can see here 2 favorites lists. This is a more common way that, customers want to go in and out, so it's easy ordering, expedited ordering. They come to a list of products that they commonly buy. This could be dynamically generated based on their behavior of buying, but this is typically manually added either by themselves, the customer, or by their sales rep. As you guys know, sometimes your customers don't know exactly what they want or exactly the components that they need to get. So this is a great way of a few people supporting the favorites list in order to make easy in and easy out of purchasing. We have loyalty points built in, so even for B2Bs who want a loyalty club to establish, you can do that with our platform. And returns, this is another way that we leverage the integration. So no longer are you going to get a return from customers and then an email that simply says, I want to make a return, and you don't know much about anything more than who wants to make that return. Here, with leveraging, again, the integration to Nav, we can choose the type of request. So let's say it's a return. Now, this is where it's pulling out orders that I can return on. Now, I'm calling up orders from as far back as 2013, but this can be limited to, let's say, a 6-month period of time, whatever the window of returns that you support can be done here. And then once, let me just pick one here, and from the line item, I can choose the second one here. There may be the option here to take a photograph of through your smartphone or tablet of the damage that might have been incurred to shipping. However, put in the description and create the request. That can go into that can go into Dynamics Nav, or that can also be emailed to customer service reps, and that's certainly captured within our platform. All right, so that's speaking to, let's see, so we covered self-service, we covered personalized web content. Let me show you another example of personalized web content. Let's go here to the back end of Dynamicweb, and let me show it to you here under marketing and personalization. And then here's that profile, loves hard drives, that triggers that pop-up. In addition to on-site behavior, I just want to show you briefly here that recognition rules is how we recognize customers coming inbound based on certain characteristics that they may have. Let's say they clicked on a advertising retargeting campaign that we have running off of the web on various sites or even on Facebook. We can choose one of these here to recognize them coming in from clicking on an ad versus coming in on a certain IP address. So when we're at a trade show and our cellular data connections are weak, we use the Wi-Fi address. We can recognize other people at that trade show coming to our website if they're coming in on that Wi-Fi IP address. If they're coming in on a mobile device, if they're a returning visitor, are they coming in with a specific language in their browser? So like the Japanese example. Are they coming in from our sister site or YouTube channel? Exactly. We are capable of recognizing all of that and therefore treating them differently. And that's another example of personalized content. All right, and let's see. And all this, again, it's integrated into Dynamics Nav so that you can leverage that experience for a blend of the content, the user experience, e-commerce buying, and of course, marketing as well. So, despite the hiccup in the middle, Angie, I think I'm going to wrap up my demo here and get some questions, and we can have um, a nice saved recording for that's not too long and easier to digest. Did we get any questions?
Be just a moment. There is one question coming through.
Okay.
They're typing right now.
Oh, okay.
What is your advice on beginning a project of this nature? What should we do to prepare?
Okay, that's a really nice question. Um, let's see. Preparing for this project of this nature, so I'll have to make some assumptions on where that person is. So let's assume that they have Dynamics Nav already in place. They may have a website or not. So first and foremost, especially with an integrated solution, is the cleaning up of data inside of your ERP. I think we all recognize that sometimes in the rush to get things done, um, you're using your ERP maybe not to its full efficiency. So we've seen where let's say you have a customer information, city, state, zip. City is being utilized for another field. And the problem with that is that now, the old computer term, garbage in, garbage out. So you have that kind of garbage, dirty data inside your ERP, and that clearly doesn't support master data management concepts, but nonetheless that certainly also does not support a smooth integration when it comes to your e-commerce solution, because the e-commerce solution really just wants to take data from the ERP irregardless of what that data is, but it needs to be accurate in the sense that if you're using a field for city 90% of the time, you need to use it for city 100% of the time, especially for it to more easily integrate into the web, so that that experience is nice and smooth. The system of record remains in place, but now you have a pretty interface to connect to it. So to summarize, it's really cleaning up that data so that whoever's integrating your website to the ERP is got one less major headache to get involved with.
Okay. And you mentioned personalization and CRM information. What types of analytics will the site provide to gather visitor and customer information?
Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, so Dynamic Web captures customers' behavior on the site. So let's say And then I'll talk about CRM as well. So the ERP has product information, orders, as it relates to e-commerce, orders, customer information, and product information. And then that and then orders that transact on the website, that goes into the ERP as well. But then there's customer information, and that's also going into, let's say, the CRM side. But then there's on-site behavior. So all websites are essentially like a digital lint brush. It's picking up little bits of pieces of information from every single user. How long are they on the site for? Are they coming on their iPhone or their Android or a laptop or desktop of a certain resolution, of a certain browser type, what language, etc. All that information. And then going down deeper on the customer experience on the website, it's like, okay, they're looking at these pages, they're favoriting these products, they're adding these products to the shopping cart. All of that information is collected by many websites, but platforms like Dynamic Web actually allow you to access that information in order to blend ERP information, CRM information, and that on-site behavioral information in order to really target people to say, like, okay, I'm looking for the people who buy this hard drive, ship to Detroit, and also favorited this product. And the favoriting is behavior on the website that the ERP or CRM doesn't necessarily care about, yet we still capture and assign to a user's profile. So it's a blend of those things. We capture those metrics about behavioral and we save them as well. But we also capture the metrics that that Google Analytics captures as well, like time on the site, bounce rate, etc. And then a blending of both Google Analytic information as well as our metrics and analytics, plus the behaviors of customers, is what's all captured and can be available for marketing people to analyze. Hope that answers your question.
I think so. I think that's all the questions. Oh, no, we got another one. Is the platform in the cloud?
Okay, our platform is an on-premise install, so it's not a true cloud-based or SaaS solution. But to its benefit, unlike those solutions, which may be more turnkey, where you could just plug it and go, there's limited configuration possibilities. With Dynamic Web, it's an on-premise install. You can install it under your kitchen sink, which we don't advise, but you could certainly put it into your Azure host system as well as our own Azure hosting system.
Okay, sounds good. Very informative.
Great. Yeah, short one, but I hope informative and, just smaller, digestible amount of information.
Well, good. Thank you, everyone, for attending. If you have any further questions that you would like to maybe speak to Richard from Dynamic Web one-on-one with, you're more than welcome to contact him. Richard, do you have your information that they can contact you?
Yeah, I apologize. It's not on my deck, but it's really easy. It's RLE. Go figure, but it's RLE@dynamicwebusa.com, or just visit us at dynamicwebusa.com. And there's plenty more information about the product there with lots of screenshots as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all for attending. Thank you, Richard, for presenting. And I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will be taking a little bit of a break next week. We'll be back on January 4th for a webinar from Tom Doran on customer relationship management. But like I said, this will be on our website later this afternoon for you to watch and share with others at your leisure. So thank you again, everyone, for attending. Visit our website, www.innovia.com, and everyone have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.